morning, everyone. Hello. I hope everyone can see me and hear me and everything is looking and sounding good this morning. I'm so happy to be back. My name is Voodoo Val, and I'm going to be your host this morning for the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. We've got a wonderful schedule full of tons of different creators prepared for you today. It's not just me and Evan. Also, big shout out to Evan. Thank you so much for that wonderful stream. I want to pull up the schedule real quick and let you folks know what is going on today, because if you haven't noticed, we actually have pretty long schedules these days. We got some pretty cool stuff going on. So in the morning we had Getting Started in Motion Design with Evan Abrams at 7:30. Now we are doing the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. We have the Adobe Live video editing segment with Jason Levine coming up at 9:30 Pacific. And then we will have the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge at 11:30 with Paul Tranny, followed by Julia Masalska, the one and only, doing some awesome graphic design at noon Pacific. Then we have Howard Pinsky coming through with the XD Daily Creative Challenge at 2 o'clock. Got the Draw Along with Kyle T. Webster at 2:30. And then I'm going to be back with my good friend Alex Lazarus at the end of the day for our very first Design Off Challenge stream. It's going to be super cool. That's happening at about 3 p.m. Pacific, so I cannot wait to dive into everything and get started here. And also come back later today for some cool game show stuff going on. So thank you folks for joining me. I'm going to jump right into how everyone can get involved with the challenge with me today, and how you folks can get all of your starter files and everything prepared for this challenge. So if you folks head over to behance.net/challenge/Photoshop, it will bring you to this page. And as I said yesterday, essentially what goes on this page is every morning a new challenge is unlocked to you. So yesterday we made a promotional flyer for a role-playing game, sort of farming RPG, farmer's market, which was really fun. And today we're going to be working with color. It says change the atmosphere of an image with color tools in Lightroom and Photoshop. And what we're going to be doing, I guess our RPG theme for today is we're going to be changing the season of an image, because you can jump into Lightroom and use their awesome color tools to change sort of a summer image to look like maybe it's a fall image or a spring image or a winter image, perhaps, because everybody knows when you play farming RPGs, you always have to survive each season, which is super fun. If you are not really a farming RPG fan, fear not, you do not have to adhere to that particular theme for these challenges. I just wanted to add a little bit of extra pizzazz to these challenges and see if we can't get the creative juices flowing for some of you folks who are into video games and the like. So I'm going to jump in to this challenge, but first of all, I do want to highlight the Discord. If you guys head over to bit.ly/PS Discord, you will be able to join the Discord, share your challenge entries with me, like many of you have done since yesterday, and then I will be able to do this. I will be able to jump onto the stream, and I'll be able to pull up the current challenge channel and show off all of your wonderful entries that you folks have done. There are so many great challenge entries from yesterday. So many people have submitted, people like Mitchell and Ted and Bren. And there was one in here that I saw that I just really thought was absolutely fabulous. This one from Carla. Carla, you have done such a wonderful job taking this to the next level, doing some kind of like 3D house illustration here, which I just thought was wonderful. Congratulations, Carla. It's a great entry. But everybody did really, really great challenge entries. So thank you all so much for joining me. I'm going to jump in there today and kind of give you guys some more feedback. And then I'll pull this up tomorrow and show off what everybody did for the challenge that we are doing today. This is awesome too. Who is this from? This is from Finland. Some problems such as size of the door and frame, I don't know how to modify it. Honestly, I think that you have done a really good job. This is cool. This is very cool. But yeah, so we've got some really excellent entries coming in, and now we are going to jump into our challenge for today. So as I said, we are going to be working with photos in Lightroom, and I'm also going to jump into Photoshop and show you some pretty nifty things that you folks can do in Photoshop, and then we will probably return to our Discord so that I can give you guys some more feedback, more personalized feedback on your awesome entries. So without further ado, I'm going to jump back over to the challenge page here and let you know that you can actually hit this Get Started button right here, and it will bring up a download for a little starter file that I've created for you folks with some examples in the file. I recommend that you guys go and find your own image. However, go to Adobe Stock, go to wherever you like to get your images, maybe Unsplash or something like that, where you can get free, awesome images, and choose one that you like. I'm choosing one that's based on like farming and stuff, but you do not have to. You can actually choose whatever kind of image you want. Maybe you have your own images to work with and use those for the challenge. So I'm going to jump into Photoshop, or into Lightroom, excuse me. I'm going to page this stuff down. Got my Lightroom open, and I'm going to show you guys, I do already have my image that I'm going to be working with loaded into my Lightroom. However, if you are new to Lightroom and you've maybe never seen this interface before and you want to import some images, all you have to do is click this little plus button right up here, and it will open up your Finder or your browser thing here so that you can upload your images. So that's how you would do that. Again, one thing I want to say before we jump into this challenge is there are so many things that you can actually do in Lightroom. In fact, I'm going to bump myself over to this side of the screen because I'm going to be blocking some stuff over there. There are so many things that you can do in Lightroom, and obviously we have a limited amount of time today to kind of dive into some of the tools. So obviously this is not going to be a super in-depth tutorial on how to use Lightroom, but what I'm going to show you today is how you can very quickly open up an image in Lightroom and get started editing with the color sliders and things. And then if you want to take it a little further, you totally can. But I'm going to show you how to get started. So I'm going to double click my image here. I've got a few different images. I'm going to zoom out here so that I have my picture selected. And this is a pretty cool image of like farm life, I thought. And it looks a little like maybe early morning in spring or summer. But as I said before, the nature of cool farming RPGs is that you survive all kinds of different seasons. So we're going to use the tools to change this into maybe more of a spring image, all right? So I'm going to come over here on the side. You'll notice there are a lot of different things highlighted, or little tools in your toolbar over here. You've got the color sliders. There's light and color and effects and all kinds of things that you can jump into here, which we're going to be using a lot of today. You can come in here and use the crop tool. There's some healing tools, brush tools, linear gradients, and radial gradients. And you can do all kinds of stuff with these tools. Now, I'm not going to jump into all of these because, like I said, we've got limited time, but I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start noodling around with the color sliders here. So I'm going to scroll up, and you'll notice that you can change the temperature, you can change the tint, the vibrance, and the saturation of your image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the tint for now, because what I want to do is I want to, like I said, make this more of a spring kind of image. And to make things look more springy, I think that we need a little bit more green. So I'm going to just very subtly crank up that tint just to add a little more green. You can kind of see the difference, just makes things a little greenier. So I'm going to bump that up. You can come in, you can mess with the temp, you can add some more blue to it if you want. Honestly, I think this makes it look kind of like maybe early winter. Maybe things are sort of coming to a close for the end of fall. But I do want to add maybe a little bit more vibrance. We can add a little more green if we want. And then we can come over here to the vibrance, and I would be careful with vibrance. It's really up to you how you want to edit this. You kind of can like noodle around the way that you think is best. I'm not really going to add too much vibrance because I don't want the image to look super blown out. And I don't think I'm going to mess with the saturation because I think it will just make my image look a little little too bright. I'm gonna maybe tint that down to green a little bit more. So now I have more of a green image, but I don't want to stop here because as you can see, we've got like the sun out in the background, and that's not bad, but it is a little harsh, I think. So you can actually come up here to these settings here, to the light settings, and you can mess with exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites, and blacks, which is really cool. So if we come over here to the highlights and we crank the highlights down, you can see that it actually does tone down that light in the back just a little bit. Maybe if we drag our whites down as well, it doesn't really help too much because it's not like a pure white back there. But we can turn down the exposure, which makes it look a little bit dark. So I don't really want that too much. We can mess with the contrast a little bit. Honestly, I kind of like that. It kind of not washes it out, but it makes it a little bit less harsh there. And maybe I will crank this up just a little bit more. And I kind of like that. And now I am not really a photo editor by any stretch of the word. It's not my forte. It's not my specialty. But you can see how if you are like me, where Lightroom is not what you're using constantly, you can very, very easily jump in here and start editing some images. So we can kind of play around here and I can show you some more things you can do. You can add more blacks in. I don't really think it looks right for this particular image, but it kind of does give it more of a springy feel with more green. You can also come in here to effects, which I really like. You can crank up the texture if you really want to and make things a lot more crisp and clear. Or you can bump the texture down, and I think it looks a little dreamy and hazy, which is actually kind of cool. You can play with the clarity settings to your heart's content. You can also dehaze your image, which I think is cool. You can add a vignette. If you bump it to the right, it will actually add white around the edges, and if you bump it down, it will actually add the black vignette around the edges, which I actually prefer the black. I don't know if it's right for this image, but I just wanted to point out how to do that. And you can actually change the grain. You can add grain to your image, which is pretty cool. So you could make these images look like kind of an old-timey photo if you want to. In fact, we could probably do that real quick. Let's see. Let's change the saturation a little bit. We can change the saturation and the vibrance. We can crank up the contrast just a little bit to kind of keep it looking crisp. We can come down here to clarity and bump that clarity up, and then we can add a bunch of grain, and it kind of does look a little bit like old-timey photo. So you really can do a lot. It does look like maybe if we add a vignette around the edges, boom. Maybe the white would be better for this one, but it actually looks pretty cool when you do that. So you can actually add a lot of different mood and atmosphere to your image. Now, once you have your image the way that you prefer, you can actually come up to File and you can export your image, or you can just straight up go edit in Photoshop, which it makes all of this very, very easy. Now I'm going to jump into Photoshop and I'm going to show you how I edited the photos, because I do have a handful of examples of how I made things look like they were in a totally different season when I had more time. And I also made a cool little promo that kind of goes hand in hand with the challenge we did yesterday. So I'm going to jump over there and I'm going to show you what I did there. So let me grab my folder and I'm going to navigate and open my file in Photoshop. Boo, boo, boo. Let me come over here, Photoshop DCC, March and April, changing seasons, and let me grab my promo. Okay. So here is my Photoshop, and as you can see, I actually brought the cool image that I made for our farmer's market flyer that I did yesterday, and I made it white and I brought it over into my challenge and overlaid it over my image, which I thought was actually pretty cool. If I come through here though, I can show you how I changed this. I add a lot of the haze onto this. If you remember, I can pull up Lightroom again. I'm going to hit Control Z and I'm going to go back a little while just to make this more vibrant. Let's go back to the beginning. Boom. I'm going to maybe crank the temp up a little bit. And I did come down here because I thought that this, let's see, I thought that the clarity settings are really fun to make it look a little dreamier. So I bumped the texture and clarity down. And I cranked the dehaze up, and I just thought it looked cool and dreamy. So you can see this is kind of the product of me noodling around with that and making things a little warmer, which was really fun. I also, I believe, have like kind of a greenish one that I did that I thought was really fun. And I also have this one here that I will drag in, where I did more of a blue, like winter scene, kind of playing on those blues, bumping it down, bumping the saturation down, and kind of making it look like, okay, this is like the height of winter. Maybe it doesn't snow here in this valley, but it's definitely looking very cold and frigid. So that was really fun. And then what I did was, like I said, for my challenge yesterday, I brought in my little image. If I can turn this on, and I made myself a nifty little trendy, I thought, image, just to say, you know, Voodoo Valley Farmers Market is happening on this day at this time, and I thought that was actually pretty cool. I thought it was neat. Val, you make me want to listen to Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix. I am so happy I could be the one to inspire you to do so, because Hendrix is awesome. What about Voodoo Child? Yeah, or Voodoo Child. I'm down for both of those jams. So yeah, I hope that you guys will jump into Lightroom and mess around with the color settings and the texture settings and things. I think it's kind of a good, I guess, gateway into editing in Lightroom. Like I said, I'm not trying to get too in depth with it today because we don't have a lot of time. So that was just kind of a quick and easy way that if you are new to Lightroom, you can jump in and start messing around with photos, and also bring it into Photoshop and give it a purpose, you know, not just editing the photos, but actually transforming it into something you could use on social media. If you were not here yesterday for the challenge, I can actually give you folks the image of my my little Voodoo Valley thing here, and I can pin it to the Discord. Let me hide this. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to say Control-Shift S. I don't know why I didn't think of doing this sooner, but I am going to save this as white logo, and I'm going to save it as a PNG. Save. Okay. And then I'm going to come over here to Discord. I'll pull up our Discord. I'm going to hit this plus button right here next to our chat, and I am actually going to come into my changing seasons thing here. I'm going to grab the white logo, and I'm going to grab my Voodoo Valley promo, and I'm going to hit open. Ooh, files are too powerful, meaning that the files are very, very large. I wonder if we can get away with just doing the white logo, and then I will make it smaller. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Here is my white transparent promo design for you all to use. So I'm going to go ahead and upload that. And then not only am I going to do that, but I'm also going to hit this button here, and I'm going to say pin message. And I'm going to say, oh yeah, pin it. So now you guys don't have to actually scroll through the Discord here. You can just come right up here to the top and hit pinned messages. And all of the things that we have pinned that we thought were interesting and things that you guys could use are actually pinned here, so you don't have to hunt around for it. So you guys can download that and use that on your image if you prefer. And then I'm actually going to open my Photoshop. Once again, I am going to drag my promo in here, and I'm going to make it a smaller file so that I can upload that. You can also, quick tip in Photoshop, if you'd like to pull up your canvas size or your image size, the hotkey for that is Control-Alt-I, I believe. It should be, yes, Control-Alt-I. Oh yeah, and this is huge. This is 16 by 11 inches. So I'm going to crank this down to like an 8. And there are other ways. Ooh, there we go. I actually drew on that. There are other ways to resize your image. This is kind of just like a quick way that I'm doing this since, like I said, we're limited on time. So this is fine. I'm going to say Control-Shift or Control-S. to save it. And then I'm going to come back to Discord, and I'm going to drag my promo right in here. Here is my entry for challenge 2. Boom. And I'm going to throw that into the Discord right there. And then it'll pop up, and you guys will be able to take a closer look at it. Boom. I'm loving it. I think it looks super cool. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up here, and I'm going to check out, because we've got some more challenges that we did not actually look at. We've got a couple minutes to spare here. No problem, Glenda. I'm glad that you guys like it. Cool feature in Discord. Thanks for showing that. No problem. Yes. So I don't believe that you folks can pin things. It's mostly just so that mentors and Adobe folks can come in and share things with you and allow you to find it easier. But if I ever say putting something in Discord for you, you know, or hey guys, I'm sharing a resource in Discord for everyone to use, you can always click that pinned thing, because I will always have pinned it there. So let's see, that NL and Soul Mountain, you guys did such a great job, everyone. Shambi, and I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm going to call you Snow. Snow did a wonderful job. I'm loving actually all of the kind of Asian inspiration that's kind of going on here. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. I love those colors as well. Everyone is doing such a good job. Let me see if I can scroll up to maybe some of them that we did not see just yet. We've got some, ooh, this is cute. I love all of the texture in the back of this. Who's that from? Bren. Well done, Bren. This one's cool too. It looks like a girl sitting in a hot spring. Nice. Farmer's Valley, natural farming. Nice, from Wendy. I've got some cool ones from Optimus. Let's see if we can scroll here. I know that I did look at these earlier. Yeah, we kind of stopped at Carla. So we can come up here and I can scroll through. I like this Night Valley one from SB. Very cool. The Winter Heights one is nice. I love this long sort of thing of crops coming through here, which looks really good. I almost would want it to be a little bit brighter so I can see that sun and see the crops a little better, but it's really cool. I love the texture with this. Everyone has done such a good job. Oh my gosh. I love this one. I love the kind of distance here with that. Looks like you used the brush tool to get like kind of a cool vanishing trail there for the Voodoo Valley. Looking good. I like these birds in the sky. I kind of tried to add some geese in the sky for mine, so I like that other people were kind of adding some birds. It looks good. I also like the detail that you added on the house here, because I didn't get that detailed with my house, but you sure did, and that looks great. So that's from Morgan O'Kennedy. Very nice. Elstrix Valley. Nice. From Elstrix. Elstrix has their own valley. Very, very cool. Green Acres, from Baby Doll. This is cool. That's actually like a popular plant nursery in the United States, at least in California. It's like a chain of plant nurseries where you can go and buy all kinds of rare plants for your yard and things. I love Green Acres. I think it's a cool place. So that's pretty neat. And then we've got some from Robin with the purple. Oh yeah, you guys know I love that purple. Sun Valley with all these awesome cactuses, and I don't know if you meant for this to happen, but this center cactus right here is giving me mad Mickey Mouse and Goofy vibes. That looks like Mickey Mouse and Goofy right there to me, and it's awesome. Choice selection of cactuses. But yeah, so that's some of the awesome entries that we got. I'm actually gonna have to come to a close here because I don't have very much time left. But please, definitely do the challenge and let me see all of the awesome stuff that you folks have created. I've got to take off here, but there, like I said, is going to be an awesome jam-packed day of more epic designers and segments on Adobe Live today, so stay tuned for that. I believe we have, who do we have coming up next? We've got Jason Levine with video editing coming up right after me. So thank you folks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the challenge. I will be back for a third challenge tomorrow, and I can't wait to reveal to you what that is going to be about. So I will see you folks actually later today for Game Show. Woohoo! I'm going to be doing the draw off with Alex Lazarus, but then I'll see you also tomorrow morning. So adios, everyone. Thank you for joining me, and happy designing.